Hello, hello. I am Ranger Vivina, and this is my mass. It's actually a mass of a friend of mine, Merisa. So I'm just recording it for her, so also that we can have some sort of documentation. And for those that are kind of like new and getting into it and don't really know that much about the gods and all their connections, so I'm kind of doing like this series on all the different gods and masses. I think I have four priest characters and like some that they're already dedicated to becoming priest, but they haven't made the full transformation. They're still the previous class, but they are dedicated to become priests, and that's just because I like to give mass. I don't know, I want everyone to sit around and be quiet while I just talk to them for about 20-30 minutes and then send them off about their way. And so we'll just go through here. So we are in the Shrine of Glioca. This is located in Millis. So this is the first god in Timor that Aslings are introduced to and that they meet, and probably one of the most common faiths that people go to. I know we covered that Diok also does scar removal, but Glioca is pretty much known for that because she is the goddess of love and compassion and gentility. So definitely like the biggest thing that she's used for is scar removal. I don't think, yeah. Alone? No, I can't because I am a Diok priestess, so we're in the same trinity, and so I can go ahead and look here. So here you see the first one is Heal of Scar Zagros. I believe the protection from harm is like a Dion or maybe like stone form. Resurrection again, I believe you have to use that on somebody who is in front of you that's scald. And it will bring them back to life. But honestly, that's a big headache to try to do. Or maybe it pulls them back. I mean, it hasn't been used in forever. Healing, of course, heals them. Charm, you stand in front of a monster and you use Charm, and then it will defend you and it'll stop attacking you. Return to Safety, I believe, is like, what is the name of that spell? I have to look at it if I'm going to try to say it. Okay, I don't have it on that character. Dotch, but I think it's longer than that. That's the short version, since you home. Fairy Liquor is kind of like the commodiums, but it will also resurrect. It's a physical item that you can carry with you. They're called Beothachdium once you identify them, and they will allow you to use them on someone that is sculling. And so basically, if you're in a party and you go down to 1 hit point, you don't die. You have a few seconds with a skull over your head where anyone in your team or any Aslings that are around really can run up and use a Commodium or a Beothachdium and or Resurrection and keep you from going to the dead place. And then lastly, of course, all of the shrines give you songs of the shrine, which will give you songs to the city that you are in. I don't know how many I have, but I'll go ahead and take that. I got 22. Perfect. I love that they increased the base number of songs that you have. It is so amazing. You could only have 15 before the last time I played, and it was awful. I never had enough songs. So I really do enjoy that aspect that they have increased some of the stack numbers, and also some items that used to not stack now do stack. So it's really great for your character's inventory management. I still think the banks are too small. I think there should be a way to maybe purchase extensions. That could be something that they could add to the Karuna shop. I'm sure people would buy it. I know on lots of games I have bought inventory expansions because people just want to hoard, World of Warcraft, getting your silkweave bags, spider silkweave bags, or on, oh my goodness, Neverwinter, same thing, buying bank extensions, bag extensions. There's been plenty of games that have that. Right, I'm going to be quiet now so we can pay attention to her math. I'm just getting a little commentary here, but it totally sounds like she's talking about Gillibria, who is totally full of darkness and emptiness. One thing that I like to do during mass, because I hate it when the bubbles pop up. I don't know like how much time you have to do without any activity for that to start happening. You'll notice like they're snoring here, and it's because of the inactivity. So I always like to hit F5. That refreshes your screen and also keeps you from blowing those little annoying bubbles. So it looks like to the person that you're listening to that you're actually listening to them. And it's a really minute thing I think that a lot of people don't even think about. But it's just something that I like and something that I like to do because I feel that it adds to the moment, to the role play, and is kind of respectful that you're not just sitting your tune here and then walking off, which I'm sure many people do. Also, Merisa speaking so much truth here. I think when I first started playing Dark Age, the my tongue. When I first started playing Dark Ages, I did have a lot of trouble with self-love, but something that's definitely I've learned and I've taught myself, and it wasn't easy, is to overcome, self-apathy or self-hatred and come to love myself. And I definitely, it's super important, 100% believe, like, if you don't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love somebody else? Now that I see her adding a poem to her mass, I should have maybe did the lines. I know I broke it up with like blank spaces, but I think that makes it much clearer about what's going on. Also, if I wasn't listening to this mass, I would totally respond about something about rum and cake to the world shout. This poem is totally putting my last minute thrown together poem to shame. I'm gonna have to put a lot more preparation. Also, another trick for masses, like if you are going to be stepping away, is to be in a place to where your back is showing. As you'll see with Jolandia, I'm not really paying attention to that character right now since I'm recording, but that's something that you can do so that you don't get those annoying bubbles. Preach self-care, sister. Preach. Self-care is super important. So anytime that you accept Mass, and then it's going to port you out to the entrance. So if you want to come in, you're going to have to like join any conversation afterwards. You're going to have to walk back in. Okay, and I've been trying to see if this priest bonus Mass reward works. I've cast Mass and tried to use it on the priest that I cast Mass, and I never got a bonus. So I'm going to try it now. Yep. What was that? Okay, so I guess it only works if you are a participant and not if you are hosting, which seems kind of unfortunate because you don't get to partake in the Mass when it's cast. So it seems like you should get that then too. I know I didn't receive any ability points. What do you mean I didn't receive any experience points? So weird. So I came back with Jolandia, and I'm gonna go ahead and like Shift F, which will pull up your orange text, and screenshot this as to you do not receive any ability points, you do not receive any experience points. So that is strange, because Vivina certainly did. I wonder if you have to actually be a master to get that bonus. Or maybe you have to actually be a Medinia class even. It's always good to thank the other Aslings who are adding, they're taking their time both in and out of game to prepare these sermons and then to sit here and perform these services to add to the ambience, to give something to roleplay, to give more meat, and so always, always, always politely engage, with those Aslings that dedicate and volunteer their time and effort to give to the game. Okay, and as you see, I made some changes during the Mass here on my notepad. Because I know I did that, I believe, with the Diok Mass, where I list the allies and the enemies. So mostly everything, because there are 8 Tamorian gods and they're set up in an octagram, you have those that are closest to you in the 8-pointed star, which are going to be your enemies. And then on the opposite ends. Maybe I'm getting it backwards. I'm actually gonna just pull up the octagram before I shoot myself in the foot. I also laid an octagram down for Marion's Mass. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, as you see here, Diok, both of his enemies are closest. Viosha and Luthas. And then if you go down here to Glioca, her enemies are Sienler. Where's Grimal? Did I not go all the way down? Because it's right next. Yep, there it is, Grimal. And then you can follow the points on the star to Cal, and follow the other point that goes all the way up to Diok. And this octagram works with all the deities that way. The ones to the left and the right are the enemies, and then if you follow the point of the star out in the two directions, it will lead you to their allies. And probably in another video, I'll go into greater detail about the trinities and why they are set up the way that they are. But it looks like that's it for this Mass. So thank you, Merisa, for the Mass. It was lovely, beautiful poetry, and it was a great message about self-love, self-care, understanding of self, and how hard that can be, but how rewarding it can be once you start to obtain progress and grow and strengthen in your love for yourself. So with that, I will say goodbye. Again, I am Ranger Vivina, and I am playing Dark Ages. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions about Glioca, the Trinities, the deities, or anything like that, yes, comment below in the video, and I will get back to you on those. And if you have any ideas or anything specific that you would like to see in relations to the gods of Timor, let me know and I'll get on that. Have a good night.